Okay, so evidently there are some Trump protesters at a Bernie rally, and Emma Vigland from TYT Politics, decided to interview some of the Trump supporters. I would like to say that I get very frustrated and very angry and very upset whenever I see a person interviewing a Trump supporter, because it's like the same thing every single time. They are obviously low information voters, low information protesters if they're not being paid to protest, because some of those people seem like they're just being paid to protest. And most of them don't even know what the hell is going on with the person they're supporting. Now this is why I get frustrated. And I know Trump supporters aren't evil people. Okay, my foster brother's dad's a Trump supporter. He's not an evil person. He's actually a man of conviction. And I'd lie if I said I didn't learn a few things from that guy in my life. Okay, I feel like you can learn something from everyone. But what I'm constantly learning from these people who deem themselves Trump supporters and this version of political activeness it's a joke, man. Like, to actually put these people in the same basket as, I want to say, the most uninformed Bernie supporter is a joke. Okay? They never have anything of substance to say. They never actually come out and say things that actually matter. They just parrot. They're like Ben Shapiro, okay?
Hey, listen!
When I say they're like Ben Shapiro walks out, he has a nice haircut and a nice suit on and all this crap. But once he opens his mouth, you realize he has nothing to offer the right other than right-wing talking points. Okay, when he debated Cenk Uygur, it was a gross embarrassment, not only for the right wing, but for anybody who supported Ben Shapiro, and the crowd was roaring for that guy. Okay, and all it does is prove how ignorant people really are. I mean, it doesn't make them Nazis, it doesn't make them racist, it makes them freaking ignorant. We all know what another word for ignorant is, okay? And it's no shock or what's the word I'm looking for? Shock isn't. It's not a surprise for anybody who's on the left to realize that that's why that word, the other word for ignorant, is tossed around quite often in the circles. It's because it's projection, man. It's projection. I consume this media from multiple media outlets, granted mostly progressive outlets, because I see who they call out. And they give good reasons for why they're calling these people out, and they give data, they give statistics, and they give, what's the word I'm looking for? They give information and sources for why they call these people out. Granted, some of those sources aren't perfect. Some of those sources are liberal-leaning in some cases, But a progressive source, I think, is one of the only sources with validation. Because the liberal source has now decided to coin the term alt-left, okay, and claim that the liberal position is center-left. That's not true. That's the Republican position. This country is left, inherently. The idea that you can go out and say that prayer should be put back in schools is inherently un-American, okay, especially if you have a definitive, you can definitively describe what prayer is and who it's to. Okay, I think if you want to go pray somewhere, I think a school accommodating that for you, that's okay. That's a safe space. That's what that's called, a safe space. So you can go pray. Okay, a school providing a safe space, a college, a university, I don't even agree with that in elementary schools. Okay, because you're too underdeveloped. You don't have any logical reasoning in elementary school. You have some, but not a whole bunch. Like, you'll make bad decisions very quickly, okay? And it's like, for America to have to take these people who listen to conservative radio and think that they're informed, seriously, is the biggest fraud to the American experiment. I'm sorry, and I hate to be that critical and crucial of you guys, okay? I really do. Dave Rubin, that guy's a moron. Finds a way oh, well, Donald Trump was a net gain. We have people dying in the streets. We have Nazi rallies going on. Like, that guy's a joke, Like, he's not some crazy conservative, but you know what? He definitely went where the money was, okay? And that's what it is. Like, when you just pay somebody to go out and say something, which I kind of feel some of these people were, you get what you paid for, which is someone who doesn't agree with what the hell they're out there for, but at the same time, they don't have any information. They're just looking for a job, man. Like, I feel like those are just paid protesters, and if they're not, no, let me take that back. I don't feel like they're paid protesters. I feel like they're morons. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. They're morons, and to be that moronic and go out there and show it and not feel any type of what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't feel ashamed of yourself, I am so tired of people texting me. If you don't feel ashamed of yourself for walking out there with the Donald Trump sign, I guarantee you I'm going to get one more text, probably. If you don't feel ashamed of yourself for going out there and walking with the Trump sign, with the Trump Pence sign, I want to say this real quick, okay? If you're pro-life and Trump is taking away comprehensive sex education, where teen pregnancy happens, and some of these teens throw their babies in the toilet, throw their babies in the trash, or they punch themselves in the stomach until they miscarriage, you are not pro-life. That is not a pro-life position. Okay? Abstinence-only education does not work. We know this for a fact. This is statistically shown. It's 300% more likely to have teen pregnancy occur. Okay? And it's like, why would you do that instead of going the route of let's educate the kids so if they do have sex, they're not getting pregnant at 13 or 14 years old, which has been happening since the beginning of time. Make sure I say that. It's not the worst thing in the world. Worse things can happen. Okay, but at the same time, let's make sure that this isn't happening, that we don't have some scared little girl or little boy trying to kill an infant. Okay, that's where my mind is. I'm pro-choice, but I don't think abortion is birth control. And I know a lot of people, they're going to text again, are real big on supporting Republicans because they are against abortion. If you're against abortion, you should be pro-choice. And when I say pro-choice, I mean you should make sure that that door stays open. Okay? But you should be doing everything in your ability to stop those people from getting pregnant. Okay? That's what you should be doing. Not trying to convince yourself that they shouldn't have sex at all, because you had sex too. You're hypocrites on that. Like, let's keep shit real. Like, let's not sit here and sugarcoat this conversation. A lot of people who say, abstinence only sex education is the only way to go, they were total freaks when they were in high school, junior high. They lost their virginity at 13, 14, 15 years old, and that's what they use as their basis for trying to what's the word? Trying to pretty much indoctrinate other people with their values, okay? So it's like, there is a point where we have to draw the line and get rid of all of our political BS and do what works. That is the progressive position. Okay, 120%. You don't go by emotion. You don't go by how something makes you feel or how terrible it looks. You go by what works, okay? And I will say that, in some areas, not going to get into details on that because that's a very complicated situation. Even the progressives are a little bit too black and white on very specific issues, okay? And I won't want to go too deep into it. That's a whole nother video. I'm probably going to post a link in the description once that video's up. But it's like, once I make the video. But it's like, who in their right mind goes to protest something and can't defend their position? Who in their right mind goes out and stands in front of somewhere with a sign and say, oh, that lady across the street gave me a piece of paper, and that piece of paper validates everything that I believe, so they're facts. We have some facts right here. And it's like, yeah, but those are all irrelevant facts that are probably damaging the economy. There's no nuance, there's no context, Like you got a piece of paper from a lady across the street, and now you're Noam Chomsky. You know, like this is. I'm at a point now to where I feel like if some people should be ashamed, aside from all the racism, aside from all the bigotry, just on the economy, how this country has gone since Trump became president. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed to say that you support Donald Trump, especially if you're a Christian, because he's been like doing everything he can to prop up who he thinks is his base, and that's neo-Nazis, okay? The Nazi right, which isn't that many people. So he's shooting himself in the foot by going out there and saying that. Everybody else out there, I mean, they're a little bit more logical about it. You know, Pence is more logical about it. But, I mean, like, I don't even want Donald Trump out of office, because that means we get Mike Pence, and Mike Pence is worse than Donald Trump. Okay? And that's not because Mike Pence is worse on the policy issues. It's because Mike Pence is smarter than Donald Trump. Keep Trump in office. Okay? That's the way I see it. Keep him in office. Let him do his 4 years. Gridlock for 4 years like how they did with Obama, because we don't really have a damn choice now. And, you know, screw that. Don't gridlock anything. Beat them over the head with progressive values. Show the people the facts. Tie him and the Republicans together and destroy the Republican Party. Let's make sure that we don't try to validate what's there now, because there's nothing there. There's nothing there but ideology, and you guys are failing the country. Okay, I'm just going to be completely honest right now. And if you get offended, if you get mad, if you feel like, oh, well, that's not fair, stop being a snowflake and stop being a charlatan and look at the facts, man. Okay, look at historically how Republicans have routinely destroyed our country, made the rich richer, and a Democrat comes in and fixes it. And whatever excuse you could come up with, oh, they're two parts of the same beast, or whatever the hell you want to say, man. Unless you're getting out there and voting, you can't complain. And if you're going out there and voting for a guy just because of abortion, you're uneducated. Okay? You're ill-informed. And I know how you feel about abortion, because I don't necessarily support abortion as birth control at all. Okay? Like, I really don't. I don't think that somebody should have more. This is just me being a person who is very empathetic, but at the same time feels that life is important, okay? I don't think abortion is birth control. I don't think that people are going out there and just having abortions just because they want to. I think some people make really poor decisions over and over again, and then they need to have an abortion. I feel like instead of saying, oh, we'll just stop having sex and putting the onus on them, how about this? How about you get your tubes tied until you're ready to have kids? Planned Parenthood. Plan your parenthood. Plan fucking when you're gonna... Plan when you're gonna have kids. You know, and here they are shouting down Planned Parenthood. And it's like, oh, Planned Parenthood attacks black people. The liberals are racist. Like, you'll just believe anything, man. I mean, the worst thing that can happen to someone is they're on this path to live a life of tremendous success, okay? And they get blindsided by a person who tells them and identifies with them in so many ways. And imagine being a woman. This is where I put my mind, okay? And this video is going a little bit long now, okay? And this is just for you guys on abortion. Imagine being a woman. You're going to school. You're doing everything you need to do to be successful in life. And you meet this guy, okay? And we can't sit here and lie to ourselves and say that these guys don't exist, because we all know they exist, okay? You meet this guy, okay? And he tells you, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, you're special to me, and he has a great personality, he interacts with other people very well, you know, everybody likes him, he's successful, and eventually, you know, he sweeps you off your feet. You couldn't resist his charm. And you guys have sex, unprotected sex, because he tells you in the moment of passion, he might have even told the truth at that time, that, you know, hey, I love you, I want you to be with me for the rest of my life. So you guys start having sex, you know, and before you know it, you're pregnant. Little did you know you are the most fertile vagina and uterus in the United States. The guy was only in you for a few seconds, and now you're pregnant, okay? Now, if that happens to that girl, and this guy gets scared because he sees his own future disappear, because if you are a real parent, if you take having a child seriously, you're not one of these people who could just lock their kids in a room, turn on a TV, and say, have at it until freaking 4:30 when I get over my hangover. If you want to be a decent parent, you know that your priorities completely change once you have a child. Okay, so a person like that, I could see her going and having an abortion because she can't cope with it. She can't do this on her own, and she might not have the support system that other Americans have. So I'm not going to demonize her for that. I'm not going to say, hey, you should have had that kid anyway, when realistically, you know, and this is a hard pill to swallow, she'd probably be better off just not having the kid, okay? And it's like, have a kid when you're ready. Have a kid that you can love with all your heart and not resent. You know, like, why not have a healthier family in the future than have a dysfunctional family now? And that's my position on it, you know? Like, those things happen. But, I mean, like, you can't just sit out... You can't just say all abortion is wrong regardless, even in instances of rape and incest. I mean, like, you have to freaking have some nuance, man. Like, and I know a lot of Republicans are like, okay, one mistake, I can see that. Okay, I can see one mistake happening, but it shouldn't happen again. That should be one of the biggest mistakes and the biggest lessons you ever learn. And I agree with that. I almost 100% agree with that position, except for when they talk about, you know, rape and incest and how the woman's body has a way of stopping that whole thing. No, it doesn't. Okay, all the human body cares about is reproduction. Okay, which is why some of these men are capable of raping someone. Okay, so part of the reason why, I'm not gonna say it's human nature, but I'm pretty sure that if we really dug into the science, there'd be more there than freaking just, you know, this guy's just sick in the head. I'd say like this guy is entirely too intact with his hormones and his emotions than his logic. That's where my money would go on. Okay. Anyway, you can't put a guy in control over the economy over one issue that you guys are wrong on. And I'm saying you guys are wrong on it because you guys are wrong on it. If you want to protect life, you want to have a better economy, you want to have jobs for Americans, you got to start doing things that look out for Americans and not corporations, because they don't bring jobs here. They bring products here and they sell them to us. So right now, holding a Trump sign, holding a Pence sign, holding any Republican sign is literally volunteering your taxpayer dollars to subsidize somebody's private jet. Having that tax holiday so they can bring back all that money, we've done that before. Okay, that's already happened. They brought back the money, and they used that money to automate a bunch of jobs and outsource a bunch of jobs, and they fired a bunch of American workers. So I mean, it's up to you guys to stop letting people lie to you. Stop letting people pee on your face and tell you it's raining. It's piss, bro. You know? And the worst part is, we're stuck under the car with you, you know? And they're peeing on our faces too. But we're saying this that guy peeing on our face, and you just got your eyes closed, man, and you're like, reminds me of that scene from what's the movie called? Come on, Honey Mustard or Hot Mustard. Fuck, what's the movie? Oh God, Sausage Party. And he's like, jerking off in our faces, right in our eyeballs, so we can't see them. Our faces. It's like that, except it's happening to both of us, and you guys are rooting them on because they're telling you it's raining. I mean, it's time for us to come together, man. And to come together, you have to pull your head out of your ass and admit that you're wrong, like us Democrats had to do when they betrayed us with Bernie Sanders, okay? And demand more from the Republicans. There's no way Mitch McConnell should be still in office when Kentucky's like 48th in education and producing jobs. It's like second to last in the entire country. California, we're the world's 6th largest economy. Okay, do you think that money's here because, you know, we just let all the illegal aliens in and that's it? I mean, if that's the case, then illegal aliens evidently aren't destroying the economy, right? I mean, come on, like, you guys have to start figuring the stuff out for yourselves, and I'm trying not to be mean about it, because I know it's the worst thing you can do, because you guys are sensitive over there on the right. You guys are real sensitive. But, I mean, it's like, and not only that, I know too many people who are Republicans that I like, you know, that are just good people, you know, decent human beings, but as soon as you get into the political realm, they don't know what they're talking about. and they think they're freaking Sherlock Holmes, man. Like, that guy was a fictional character. Until you do some real digging, you can't just Google something, go to Infowars, and assume that it's real. Like, I went to Infowars, I thought what they were saying was real, and then I checked a few other sources. That's all it takes. Like, it took me 15 minutes. I believed in Infowars for about 11 minutes, and then I did 4 minutes of searching, and then I realized they were just full of crap. And now that guy's getting sued and coming out on national television and saying he's an actor. Okay? 3 people died because of his acting. 3 Americans, including a Marine and including a cop. This is scene 1. So yeah, freaking yeah, you guys, we have to pull together, and we're not gonna pull together with you guys pretending like you know everything when you don't. We're not gonna pull together with you guys not caring about education and caring about the Bible more. We're not gonna pull together as long as you guys choose to remain willfully ignorant and make decisions based on your emotions instead of facts. You know, this country's gonna stay broken. Do you want to broke it? Dude, every American should have a spectrum of Republican and Democrat, okay? You should have some Republican values and some Democratic values. You should have some Democratic values and some Republican values. Some liberals, some conservatives, some progressives, well, I guess conservative, I guess it would still be. You should have a mixed bag of values, and if you're just all for one side, dude, it just shows that you don't know what's going on, and you shouldn't be out there with the side. Anyways, Nazareth, this video went over literally 11 minutes than what I wanted it to be. Feel free to like and subscribe. Deuces.